of redefining sustainable development policies, practices and consequences in Sri Lanka, focusing on to the hub in Asia. Presenter is KK Pradeep Ranaweera, Assistant Lecturer, Department of International Relations, University of Colombo, Sri Lanka. Floor is yours.
Good afternoon to all of you, Chair Dr. Siri Gunruwan and all the distinguished lecturers and ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thankful for the previous lecture because I would like to adding something for this one to continue my lecture, because this is something I'm going to look at it from the international relation aspect about the based on our themes, which is headed by KDU International Research SYMPOSIUM 2013, Sri Lanka as a hub in Asia, the way forward. So how we can be model, or how we can be hub in Asia or South Asia or to the world, or how we can be model for the development, how we can show our attitudes, characters and like the significant examples to the world to adopt something to their things. So based on that, I have done research adopting sustainable development as a term which is coined by 1987 Commission of Sustainable Development Brundtland Report, and after that even 1992 World Summit Conference on Sustainable Development. So based on that, are we really practicing the concept of sustainable development in our policies, practices, or otherwise looking at the consequences? Because basically throughout even 2 days from here, I have seen from the defense and even engineering, even social sciences, we have used this term sustainability, sustainable development. So sometimes I felt it is something wrong from my side, or is it something that they have adopted innovations to the concept. So this presentation, with the time constraint, I have to limit it to 10 minutes. I'll go through the introduction about the sustainable development and the paper and sustainability and Sri Lanka on sustainable development. What are the things that we need to be addressed and understand, and why it is necessary and need to redefine concept of sustainability in the process of development in Sri Lanka. And before that, I would like to take you not to like with the exhausted lectures and so many things. Let's think little bit in a different way. The way we discuss about the development, as Doctor mentions earlier also, recent part 2012, there was one conference on Rio 20. One president and world famous, world poorest president, Jose Mujis, he has made very interesting point throughout the sustainable development and development, because every year we are discussing, even here also, Sri Lanka as a hub in Asia, how we can be, what could be, what are the things that we need to be to follow somebody else, how we can be example for somebody else. So he made with the name of power and development. So can we justify the development or sustainability taking examples about the people's living standards and other things? So if the case is right, what will happen? All the people in India can afford for the one vehicle. Take it even to the Sri Lanka. Is it development? Is it sustainability? What will happen to the environment? So therefore, this paper I wanted to take your attention, divert your attention while we are discussing about development or to be a hub in Asia. There is something we cannot ignore. There is something we cannot be neglected. That is, from our all the effort towards development, from any sector, we need to stay touch and link with environment. Because of the domino effect. Even from the country perspective, as we've seen from recent part, there are so many news and media, so many issues related to development, some of the very critical and sensitive issues which is I don't want to address, but you may know all the things. So basically, sustainable development is a very simplistic definition. It's about the development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Take it, the definition to our life. Are we really concerning, or are we really doing something thinking about the future needs? Can they afford their needs? So this is the, I think we need to address, because since most of the presentation is about the economic development and some of the things and very nice sounds and other things, but there are something we are lacking. There are something we need to be addressed very critically. There is something which is we live in today, which was not in the past. From the environment fact, climate change, floods, and many things which is related to environment, and also because of development process and other thing. So therefore, that's why I have selected, and I'm sorry, I won't be able to go for the deeply explaining about all the methodology and other thing. Generally, I have used a descriptive and analytical methodology for the understanding this concept, at the same time using primary sources from the issued by the government of Sri Lanka and some of the environmental ministry and central environmental authority and other thing. So basically, I have divided this thing, my research, to few parts. One is about based on the concept, what really can be sustainability, or because this is not the things which we have defined, even though we are having something. So it has been defined and interpreted in the different level, different kind of analysis, or we can say level of analysis, level of interpretations, level of meanings, and levels of policies and practices, even within the same country, even from the Sri Lanka. That is the reason where we can see many aspects, many subjects, many disciplinary. So many times they have used the name and terms of sustainability. But generally, I have divided the concept of sustainability from the three aspects: environmental, social, and economic. But I am not going to discuss about some of the things which is related to social and economic, but I will take the aspect of environment in order to balance and make attention, because since we have addressed many social and economic things. Looking at the case of Sri Lanka, and also this is basically timeline based, it's about after the 2009 to 2013. So there are so many programs which we have adopted in order to fulfill our needs and development, even to be based on the themes of to be hub in Asia, to be a model for the world. So from that aspect, I have divided few things to take your attentions and understand the issues and policies, practices which we practices in the government level, in the societal level, in the decision-making level. One is about the poverty eradications. Generally, before that, looking at the history and other things, you can see the many eradications of poverty or poverty eradication programs, so many things, so and so, made by the many regimes, many government, but still in the case of Sri Lanka, even with the recent report about the issued by Central Bank of Sri Lanka, they have seen that 8% of growth rate, but still more than the 12% of people are living behind the poverty line. So what is the problem? So that is the things which we need to be addressed in the case of to be a model to the world, to the region. So basically I have included few things. One is about that something which we need to be, before that most of the development project and eradications of poverty measurements and mechanisms was based on the welfare mechanisms and kind of subsidizing to the people. But now it has been changed with so many policies and practices, such like one is about, we can say, towards empowering people, making people to their potentiality and to be a power and contribute something, come out from their poverty, which is, even it was a debatable one, is I can outline that Divinagum Act, you can see, which is already designed and made it, other than the going and giving money to the people, think about their development, empowering people, making loans and mechanism, giving integration to the society, integration to the economic and so many things. But still then, there are many things which we need to be addressed about the in practical level. Is it functioning smoothly, or is it something daily as usual? Can we blame to the government, or who is the problem? Is it from the society? Therefore, I think we need to address those things. And also the thing is about these are the few things about the made based on that Sri Lanka program and also national action plans. And these are the things which I have studied. I'm sorry for that. I can't go for the deeply, but still we need to address those things, because otherwise, thinking about even the way forward as a hub in South Asia or Asia, what we need to be addressed, we need to contribute something from our side. We need to make model from our side, because since we are having that much capacity, that much philosophy, that much kind of tradition, to show to the world that we are potential to contribute something from our side, other than the allowing somebody else to make argument, blame to that we are abusing the concept of sustainable development or sustainability. So therefore, I would like to take your attention now. It's not the time to go for details, but finally, this is the thing where we need to change our attitudes. Otherwise, it won't be fulfilled. Still, we are thinking about looking at the West. Now it's time for the changing and bringing something from our side, our contribution, taking responsibility from our side. So throughout the presentation and my paper, I have recognized some few things which we need to be addressed. One is about the challenge for production and patterns of consumption is the one of the major one for the sustainable development, because since we, as I mentioned in the earlier, we are looking at the waste and taking so many things which is we cannot afford, and also it can have impact on environment and as well as our development. And also the developing knowledge and information related to the concept and practical, looking at some of the policies and strategies which we adopted. Sometimes it has been abuses and also misuses, misguided us. So anyway, thank you very much for giving this opportunity. I will answer for the questions in the later session. Thank you very much.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, any questions on that?
In your topic, you said about a hub, or rather hubs. Which hub you are referring? Now, presently we are talking of 5 hubs in Sri Lanka for the future. Are you referring to a particular hub, or are you referring to all 5 hubs?
Well, so it's about my subject, right? It's about the international relations. It's a bit generally I believe personally it's very difficult to distinguish from this level and this aspect. But because of all the elements having kind of certain level power-oriented aspects, economically, politically, generally because each aspect can have intersubjective and interlinked. So even suppose if we are going to take it as environmental, as one of the hub, because we can be a model for even for the region, since we are having much more resources and managing and handling all the things in a sustainable manner, we can be an example to the world, can be hub for the world in the process of development. Because since I have addressed throughout my paper 2009 to 2013 what are the strength and potentiality which we are having and which we can be used as a model and example to the world and region in the process of development. So therefore it's depending on any sector which we are going to.
Means we are going to refer all 5 hubs.
Yes.
And the other one is that you mentioned something, it's a statement that you said having a car for each Indians. Now, if you take that statement, from the marketing point of view, now, I think in the world, it has been already taken into consideration, because earlier, if you say marketing, it is identifying, satisfying, and anticipating customer needs and wants profitably. That was the past case. It's a management process of satisfying, identifying, and anticipating customer needs and wants profitably. But Now people understood that it is not going to sustain. Therefore, they added the environmental factor there. Now they say in a socially responsible manner. So I think what you are trying to emphasize has already been, in the global scenario, it has already been addressed. So I just felt that your statement is a little harsh one at the moment.
Well, your question well taken, sir. But the problem is still when it's come to the development, particularly about the development. But still we are highly depending on looking at the West.
Thank you very much.
This is the problem. So that's why I have mentioned there should be needs of changing attitudes. Unless and unlikely we are not able to change our attitudes and our patterns of consumption, it won't be work. So that's why I have emphasized this is the one of the area which we need to be identified. Thank you very much.